Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we are going to be discussing the top 10 college majors if you want to bag the highest salaries while studying abroad. Now, this is generally the case in the USA that I've taken this data. This data is from US News, by the way. So you will see the top 10 college majors, and you will also see on top of that what kind of salaries you can command if you are a fresher in the field. Please remember, these are fresher salaries. Don't go ahead in the comments and tell me that इससे बहुत ज़्यादा देखी हैं, we've seen more than that. First off, these are fresher salaries. Secondly, these are median salaries all over the USA. So we're not talking about the California area. We're not talking about just one of those New York areas. Basically, we're not talking about those really high salaried areas where the cost of living is also just as high. We're talking about the general US, and this is going to be a little bit lower as well. But in general, you will get the comparison right? So you'll be able to understand how you basically compare a salary of someone who is working in computer science versus someone who is working in computer engineering. And all of this will basically be clarified for you. That's 100% for sure. So without further ado, let us begin. So at point number 10, we have aerospace, aeronautical and astronautical engineering with the median starting salary as 62,350 US dollars. Again, remember, not one of the topmost areas in the US, not one of the topmost companies. This is the median. That means 50% of the people get below this and 50% of the people get higher salaries above this mark. So as you can understand, this is just a general sort of an average that I'm giving you over here, right? It's not even exactly the average, it's just the median, right? So chances are you will have something around this mark if you are situated all over the US. If you're looking at not a particular area, right? Anywhere in particular, you can basically assume it. All right, great. So as far as we can understand, astronautical engineering is pretty great over there. It's at number 10. Let's move on to number 9, which is again a very popular one, and a lot of students work with me for this. This is mechanical engineering, and you will be surprised. The difference in salaries is so minute over here. But again, I think that what you should really take into account is that these fields will also have more number of jobs. For instance, mechanical engineering will have much more number of jobs as compared to something like aerospace and aeronautical engineering, right? So, or astronautical engineering, sorry about that. So all of these things, right, you have to keep in mind as well. But in general, the median starting salary over here is $62,400. So that's just $50 higher. It's not a huge increase again. All right, then point number 8. All right, the 8th best college major in the US to earn a high salary. And again, like I said, don't compare these numbers to the topmost locations. If you actually go to the topmost locations, you will see the salaries will also go up by 30-40% pretty easily, right? So anyway, if you're basically going for nuclear engineering, that would be the 8th best college major, and the starting salary is $62,550, which is just a little bit higher. Again, not a major increase again. And nuclear engineering, I personally, I used to love nuclear physics and all of that when I was in school, or even I think when I studied in college. But somehow I just dropped the plans. I think that was pretty much around the time when CERN rejected me for that internship that I applied to. But yeah, nuclear engineering, but it could have been a different life. Anyway, so let's move on to the best major, number 7 over here. That is materials engineering, and a lot of you guys also are interested in this field, I know, because again, a lot of you guys work with me for this. So materials engineering, $63,300 median starting salary, again for a fresher, right? So this is what you can expect in a general overview now all over the US if you just take an average, right? Let's move on to point number 6. This is everyone's favorite. I think 70-80% of you are watching this for this exact field, and if you guessed it as computer science, you are probably right because this is computer science, and there's a little bit of a higher increase over here from the last one. I think you can say still about, I don't know, 5%. Anyway, 64,450 US dollars per annum. And again, like I said, no specific area. If you go on to areas like Silicon Valley, you will find that you have salaries as high as $100,000 also, even for freshers sometimes, right? It depends on how much work you have done and how much basically caliber you have and what kind of projects you've done, what kind of experience you hold in the past also does count. But if you're a fresher, of course, you don't usually have any experience, right? So all of these things come into the picture. If you've done some research, again, you will bag even higher salaries. People have this misunderstanding. That today I was talking to one of the clients, and he said, he was so adamant about, look, I don't want to go for a research based program. I said, look, if you're going to the top universities, they're famous for research. They only want more and more researchers, and that's really how they get the funding. And that's how they get the funding, that's how they pass it on to the students, and that's how they maintain their ranks. And basically that's also why companies like Google Brain and really Microsoft Research, really top notch companies hire you guys for research. So don't be afraid of the whole research. If you're going for an MS is actually a research program, if you don't really understand that, right? Otherwise go for MEng, right, or something like that. So really, don't have this phobia of research for stuff. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, right? Sorry, I digressed a little bit. Let's move on to the fifth highest paying college major, and that is again chemical engineering. And I think that I probably wouldn't have very fond memories of chemical engineering because I was really failing at those titrations back in college. So I'm pretty sure this one's not for me. But the median starting salary is $64,750, and again, not a major increase again, but definitely $300 we increased a little bit, right? Let's move on to the fourth best college major over here, and we're getting towards the big three over here. And first off, industrial engineering is the keyword here. Again, a lot of you guys are interested in industrial engineering. If you do not know what it is, please go ahead, take a look at it, exactly what it is. I think you will only understand that once you go ahead see the curriculum, but a lot of you guys would love to follow it. For all of you guys who are interested in SCM, people who are interested in MEM, or MIS is a little bit more technical, but if you don't like the technical bits, then you can also take a look at industrial engineering, right? There's a lot of similarities, a lot of differences also, but I think it's worth taking a look, right? So industrial engineering, the median starting salary is $65,250. Again, a pretty good, not a major increase, but still a pretty good increase. If we compare it from number 10, we started from 62,000, right? So it's around 65,000 now, right? This is just a median, right? Just a median over here. Remember, the number of jobs available and all of these things, these keep changing depending on the fields, and I would invite you to do your own research over there, right? It is very, very important. Let's talk about the top three now, and definitely you will see a little bit of a bigger increase, at least when you go to number three over here, and that is electrical, electronics, and communications engineering, ECE. Yes, all of you guys who are interested in ECE, embedded systems, this is the one for you. A lot of you who are also interested in electrical engineering, this is also for you guys. Now you might be surprised, you may be thinking to yourself, यार हमें तो इंडिया में मिलती नहीं है ऐसे jobs, तो यार इतनी high salary. The salary over here is $67,000. The increase is definitely pretty good. But if you're thinking to yourself that you don't get such jobs in India or some other countries, well, it's usually because these countries are not really having a lot of jobs in these fields, right? But definitely when you are looking at from a point of staying in the US, then definitely you will have much more options to pick from. And yes, core jobs will be there. जो यहाँ पर बोला जाता है इंडिया में core jobs, you don't find core jobs after college placements, right? All of that, yeah, that's something that you'll be able to beat, and with a pretty good salary as far as I can understand, right? If this is 67,000 and you're staying in an area like let's say the Silicon Valley itself, and you're working over there as an embedded systems engineer or something like that, you can probably expect a much higher paycheck even in the beginning. It could well over be $100,000. So that's one thing that you need to understand, right? They are just median starting salaries all over the US if we're taking the average, right? Great. Okay, I'm saying that again and again because I know a lot of you guys would comment down below, and I just wanted to clarify this. All right. Point number two, the highest, second highest college major paying in the US would be petroleum engineering, and a very few of you actually go for this field. I don't know why, but I think it's just that the petroleum boom in itself, has crossed us, or maybe it's just because US is probably not one of the best countries in this field, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, what do I know about that? I only help you guys with applications, but I'm not quite sure about the whole scenario of how popular it is. But again, the median starting salary very similar to the last one that we talked about. It's just $150 higher. That's 67,150 US dollars. You may go for it if you're interested, but I don't think there's really a sort of a choice over here, like petroleum versus this thing. Like students often have a choice, CS versus SE, or CS versus DS, all of these things, right? I don't think that's the case over here, so I'm not going to elaborate it further. Let's move on to the first one over here. Any guesses? Let me know. All right, I can't even say comment down below because again, you'll find out anyway. So the best major to study in the US for bagging the highest salaries, and if there's a worldwide shortage of some of these commodities that these people build, that's computer engineering, right? At this point of time, median starting salary is pretty high again, almost $70,000. We've reached over here, 69,300 US dollars. And I think that you would be surprised if, I told you there are so many computer engineering jobs in the US. Even if you're looking at it from a perspective of, hardware, basically not just the software part of these things. Yes, computer engineering, and, there's a lot more actually coming up as well. A lot more small areas that have associated with computer engineering and EC, and basically things like HCI, right? Human computer interaction. All of these things are, I think, these are the future, of course, and you should definitely take a look at those as well. The median starting salary is pretty high again. We started from somewhere around $62,000 and we're almost close to $70,000. So you can definitely see there's an increase even in the medians, even in the whole average median, right? Whatever you want to call it. But definitely, these are the top 10 highest paying majors in the US. If you're going towards the US, Canada, or any similar country, go ahead. Again, use this list or do your own research based on any other country that you're going to. And thank you so much for coming in today. If you would hit the subscribe button, it would really mean a lot. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Goodbye.